Ron is back, everybody. Welcome back for more SPTV, where every day's a great day, not to be in a cult. By the way, in the chat, I said happy Sunday, everyone. It is, in fact, Saturday. Apologies. And that's quite a relief because I thought it was Sunday.
I did too.
So, happy Saturday, everyone. There's something about how exhausting the Friday night protest is that when I wake up the next morning, I'm like, it's gotta be Sunday. But yes. By the way, we're putting out the bat signal to George. George, if you're out there, we need you in the back office. I forgot to ask you before we went live. Okay, so let's see. There's probably a bunch of stuff that we can talk about, but one of the things that inspired us to schedule this little chat is I forget the first thing that we started talking about that then led to the other thing. But then I ended up talking about how crazy it was that Ellen DeGeneres and what's the other guy's name? James Corden.
Yeah.
That of all the people.
Now I remember we were talking about at the stoplight, like going out into the middle of the street and like doing like a flash mob or something that he would do.
Oh, that's right.
Show.
We were talking about some funny protest stuff and protest ideas.
Yeah.
And then you mentioned James Corden had this bit that he did where they would go out with like a famous band in the middle of an intersection and start putting on a little concert when the light turned red.
Yeah, exactly.
And it'd be like a 20-second concert.
Yes.
And then I was like, how crazy is it that James Corden and Ellen DeGeneres were the two people whose brands were, aren't we the nicest, kindest, most gentle people in the whole world? And yet they're the two that get canceled for being absolute nightmares to people behind the scenes. And yet there's other people who are known to be absolute nightmares, like David Letterman. He's just known to be a total prick. Never gets canceled for being mean to anybody. And then you made the point. You're like, and the point that you made, I don't want to speak for you, but.
Oh, it's okay. I was just saying that I think that people get more disturbed by the inauthenticity rather than just somebody who's like a dick and then they just act like that. But it's when somebody like pretends to be one way and really they're another. It comes like it triggers something in people's mind that's like, don't trust that person or I don't like that.
That's right. And then instantly it makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Because you're like, if who you are, if your public persona is one way, and that's not real, it's not authentic, and that's the version of you that people fall in love with and support, and then they find that you're something completely different behind the scenes, well, you've been deceiving your audience.
Right.
But if you're just authentic primarily the entire time, they're not so preoccupied whether you're good or bad or nice or mean, or you're human.
Right.
And so then the people who choose to support you and like you and watch you, whether you're on TV or whether you're on YouTube, they're not now shocked to find out, the person's human.
Right.
It's just not a thing. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
And so Ellen and James Corden were like impossibly nice.
Right.
And gave the impression that's how they were all the time.
Right.
So, some random assistant gets something thrown at their head just once, all of a sudden people are shocked. That's not even a real story. I think it's Beyonce who threw Naomi Campbell, sorry, I just said it was Beyonce. Sorry, Beyonce. One assistant gets one hard object thrown at their head one time and people want to freak out. But that when you said that though, the reason I just we should do a video about that is because I have said the whole time that is all anyone on YouTube cares about.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons why it was so cool, the idea of former Scientologists just coming out and telling their stories in their own voices, in their own way, the good, the bad, I did this, I didn't do this. None of it really matters other than the authenticity. None of it matters other than the authenticity.
Yeah, you actually, sometimes I'll go to you and I'll be like, I want to make a video about this, but what I really want to say is this, that, and the other thing, but I can't say that. And you're like, yes, you can.
That's exactly what you should say.
Yeah, you're right. You're like, that's funny. That's interesting.
I know. I'm like, all the stuff you're saying is going through your head. That is what you wish you could say, but don't think you should. That is 100% exactly what you should say.
Yeah, and that's actually.
And what do I usually say? I usually say, that's hilarious.
Yeah,
that is what you should be saying.
Yeah, it's so true. That's actually helped me a lot recently because at first I would get a lot of comments that are like, you're so calm and you're so nice. And I was like, I wasn't trying to trick anyone.
The funniest stuff that you would say to me early on in your YouTube videos is how much it pissed you off that everyone would make what is honestly the nicest comments. You're so sweet, you're so kind, you're so gentle. Whatever all these these words were, that to anyone else would be really nice compliments. You're like, I am so pissed off. That's not who I am. And I'd be like, then be who you are.
No, yeah, it's true. And I wasn't like mad at people, but it
Right.
felt like I was kind of mad at myself because I just was going through a thing where I guess when you grow up, you learn that you kind of like, I guess in the way that I did, you learn that being your authentic self isn't acceptable.
Oh no, is
I
our
know.
audio this entire... Oh no, the whole time the wrong microphone is selected.
They didn't hear anything.
No, they just heard us through the computer microphone.
That's okay. That's still you. Even though it tortures you,
God.
they probably still.
What are people gonna think of me?
I know. But how do we know that it's fixed now?
Because I
Look,
selected.
George is giving thumbs up. Thanks,
Georgie,
George.
6.5 minutes of pure unadulterated audio hell. Thank you guys. You know what? That's what I get for not actually... Oh, they're saying I'm too loud now. That's because Jenna talks like this into her microphone and wonders why everyone thinks she's so soft-spoken when she doesn't talk like that in real life.
She doesn't have energy to talk as aggressively as you do.
All right, here, I'm going to do this. I'm going to try getting so close to my microphone. But, all right, we'll stop talking about the microphones.
Okay.
All right, what were we saying?
I was saying that I think if you grow up in the way that I did, like, you learn that being your authentic self isn't acceptable. And so, I don't know, I guess when I first started, I was like trying to be like appropriate on YouTube. I was trying to be appropriate and nice, and anyways, I am those things, but I was afraid of hurting anybody's feelings, or essentially afraid of being myself. And those are not one and the same thing, but sometimes they are. And yeah, I guess I would get a little bit like whenever you're so calm, you're so nice, I'd be like, but they don't love me for the real me.
Oh.
I would be like, they don't really.
I remember the one comment that was like, class. Oh, you're so classy.
Oh yeah.
Class act. And you're like, what does... Well, you'd be like, what does that mean?
Yeah. Even though it is a really nice thing to say, and I am sometimes classy for the most part, but it felt like you're only safe,
Oh, like, okay, but if I wasn't those things in a video,
Yeah.
but I was being authentic, now the people who are complimenting me would criticize me.
Right.
Because as of now, I've been holding back, and then they shower me with these compliments. What happens if I'm authentic?
Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's true.
That was sort of it, right?
Yeah. Even though I wasn't trying to be somebody else before, I was just really shy and camera shy.
Well, and also it's funny because I wonder if someone might hear how we're talking about this and think that when we say authentic, we're talking about like being mean and not caring about people's feelings. And I don't think that's what we're saying or what we mean at all.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's just saying how you honestly feel.
Yeah, which is nuanced.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, and also not being afraid to say how you really feel, even if some people might not like it.
Right.
But not in a mean way, just like, or not that you have to be mean. It's just that, yeah, you're gonna have people who don't like how you think and what you're saying, and that you're saying it.
Right.
And it's just like kind of being okay with being disliked, or just like overcoming the fear of being disliked.
Right. Oh my God, there's so many thoughts that go through my head about just this whole subject of like, even that idea of being liked. You go, okay, because everyone to some degree wants to be liked, whether they admit it or not.
Yeah.
It's like, who do you want to be liked by? Like, the people who watch your videos? Let's say it is the people who watch your videos. But it's like, is it just the people who watch your videos now, or the millions of people who don't even know you exist yet? Who are you trying to keep happy? The people who comment on your videos, the people who watch your videos, the people in your life who watch your videos? Like, there's so many different things somebody could choose to care about the most.
Yeah, And sometimes you could be trying to do all of those at once, and it leads you to be just like frozen.
Right.
Like you can't please everybody, so you just like freeze and you can't do anything, or you can't do anything interesting.
Yes.
There's no uniqueness to it.
Yes, exactly. And then because we're all ex-Scientologists, I think I like to speak for myself, but I'm assuming this is true for many. Like, if being liked is something you desire and something you're trying to do, well, then it gets into, well, then how do you measure that? How do you measure whether you're being successful at that? And is it whether your subscriber numbers grow? Is it whether your viewership grows? Is it whether your comment engagement is higher than normal? Because, YouTube has all these different signals it sends you to try to give you an idea of whether you're succeeding or not. And so then you have success just as defined by numbers, but then you go, which number represents the thing I'm trying to accomplish most?
Yeah.
Anyway, these are all just fun things to think about sometimes. And I tend to feel like if we're talking about just being authentic, though, you can talk about your own story, you can talk about Scientology as a whole, you can answer people's questions, you can protest, but I think by and large, people can tell if someone is being authentic.
Yes, I think so too.
We like to believe that.
Yeah, I think that.
But there's a lot of inauthentic people who seem to get a lot of sort of reinforcement. But, without naming names, because I promised I'd try not to stir as much shit as possible. There's only one person in our entire ex-Scientology community who actually lies about and inflates their own Scientology history and experience. And in some cases, I can see this person getting a lot of positive reinforcements. But in other ways, this person's channel does not grow at all and hasn't in years. And so you go, it depends on what signal you're looking at as to whether this person is actually tricking people or not.
Yeah. Right. Mm-hmm.
And there does seem to be a small amount of people who do not seem to see that this person is a liar about most things and inauthentic and exaggerating and self-promoting.
Right.
And it's frustrating to see people fooled by the bullshit.
Right.
But then you look at the macro numbers and you see there's no growth whatsoever.
Right.
And I don't know, it's hard to know what to make of all that sometimes. But that's an example of someone who is inauthentic, but somehow manages to keep getting some support from some quarters. I don't know. I don't even know how to finish that thought. I don't even know how to finish that thought.
Well, it is interesting, like inauthentic, but also very like people pleasing and very like safe. And I feel like.
But also almost stalkerish in some ways.
Yes. Yeah, that's true.
When you say safe, you mean everyone's safe with me.
Or just doesn't say anything that would be not well received. Maybe just.
But just goes in collaboration with people who are some of the most destructive. I think I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But that's an example of probably one of the most inauthentic people in the entire community.
Yeah. Right.
But he's such a relentless self-promoter and a stalker and a harasser that he eventually gets, worms his way in here, worms his way in here. And everybody knows it.
Yeah.
Like, everybody knows it. No reason to beat that dead horse.
Yeah, what I was thinking when we were talking outside was that I had done a video the other day that was talking about how people who are still in Scientology, they have some ability to say no to doing bad things, such as making terrible videos about ex-members, about people who used to be their friends, and putting them online. And I think when we were talking about authenticity, there's this thing that they say there, or people say about them. It's like, okay, well, they think that they're saving the planet. They think that they're helping people, and that is actually inauthentic. I truly do not believe that those people believe that they're helping anybody when they're making those videos about ex-members. And it's just like a sneaky little justification that gets in there. Now,
A little bit on the warm side up there.
Scientology is helping people, but
How
I
you
don't
doing?
think that when they're doing that they truly believe that
What'd you
they're
get done?
mankind and that they're doing it out of anything caring. I think that they're doing
I took
it
all those lights out
literally to be
and I tested
self-serving so that they
the big
don't get in
panels that
trouble,
are gonna
so
go
that
on
they're
the ceiling so I can see which ones throw what kind of light,
Right?
so I can determine like where they're gonna go
And how matchy they're gonna be.
and how what.
Matchy.
No. Yeah, nothing's gonna match.
I know. So what'd you come up with?
There's two 4-bulb fluorescent panels.
In the box?
They actually seem to be brighter than the LED ones. So I'll probably put those ones towards the back of the garage, which is kind of where like the workspace is going to be.
Yeah, it's dark back there, away from the door.
And then there's one 2-strip big panel LED. That is what you already have up.
All over the place?
Those are all the 2-strip LEDs.
No, there's 4-strip LEDs.
There's 5-strip LEDs,
Okay.
but they're actually
Lower.
they're weaker LEDs.
Yeah. Okay.
And they don't really throw as much light.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's why I wanted to test them all to see what, plus they don't all have covers. So I need to see.
What do you mean they don't all have covers? From the boxes?
Yeah.
Those should have all
Every
been...
single one of those lights is broken in some fashion.
Those were all not broken. That's why I still have them in the boxes, because they were not broken. They've broken. They broke.
Well, they were all opened.
No, exactly, because I checked them.
Yeah.
Well, that
Well,
sucks.
the two fluorescent bulb panels, they didn't even have the frosted panels in the box. They just had the frames for the frosted panels.
Shit. Well, there's one frosted panel.
There's two. I found two separate
good.
frosted panels, and I think they're for those lights.
Okay.
Yeah, so the replacement 4-foot LED bulbs, I pulled those out of the box with all the bulbs in it, the stand-up bulbs.
Right?
You actually have to rewire the light to use those.
Oh, I know. You need the...
So what I'll probably do is I'll probably use those in the wall lights.
Okay, the replacement doohickeys are in the boxes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And does that come with drivers?
No, that's why you have to rewire the light.
Oh, okay. All right, use as many of those bad boys as you want. They're all yours. And even the fluorescent bulb ones, if you want to turn those into LED tube lighting, go right ahead.
Not the ceiling ones.
Or if any of the ones are broken and don't turn on but have a baffle,
Yeah.
Do they all turn on?
I didn't try the ones that are going on the walls yet.
Well, if they don't turn on, there's the driver is there, so you can change it to LED if they don't turn on. So you feel like you got a lot done out there?
No, I feel overwhelmed actually. I don't think I'm going to do that fuse panel.
How come?
That fuse panel is really what goes in like Thomas's room. That's a main house 200 amp fuse panel.
Yeah.
I think I'll just use the fuse panel that's there, but maybe I'll just buy all new fuses for it, just to start fresh with it. I need to take the face off and see what is actually wired up, because I can only read about half what's written in marker.
I know, right?
I know some of that stuff goes to the apartment. That should be relatively easy to trace.
One thing goes out to the fence. There's an outlet. There's wiring that goes under the ground out to there's an outlet there.
Where?
Out all the way out by the by the fence. I
Oh,
have
for
to
the-
avoid it.
For the
No, it doesn't. It doesn't power that, which is so freaking bizarre. Why would that be there?